It's been a little while since we've reacted to one of Jim's articles, and today he posted a free agent fit for each team as the winter meetings near. If there's anyone that's been tough on Jim Bowden, it's me. So we're going to go through each team, and I'm going to give you my thoughts. Let's get to it. Let's start off with the Sacramento A's, and he has Eloy Jimenez for them. Let's start off hot here. The A's just made the biggest signing in franchise history with Luis Severino yesterday. So for Jim, he has them getting a bat in Eloy Jimenez. Now, I disagree with this one because the A's, you already got Brent Rooker there. I mean, maybe you could bring him in as a pinch hitter off the bench, but I don't really see the point. They got some younger hitters that are looking for some playing time. Eloy Jimenez, this guy, when he's healthy, he can do some things. He's got some pop, but he had a miserable year last year. Up next for the Diamondbacks, he has them getting back Christian Walker. I could definitely see this happening. He's been one of the best players for the Diamondbacks over the last few years. He's been one of the best power hitters in the game over the last few years. Has him getting a 3-year, $72 million deal. That sounds about right when it comes to the money, right around $24 million per year. Now, when it comes to Christian Walker, though, he is going to have a bit of a market. Now, I could see the Mariners getting in play here. They could use an upgrade in the lineup. Maybe the Yankees, depending on what happens with Ben Rice, DJ LeMahieu. I could see a team like the Nationals getting involved as they enter a competitive window. They need some power. I could also see the Phillies, perhaps. Maybe there's a chance you could move Bryce Harper back out to the outfield, and then they could add a bit more offense. I would also love for the Pirates to get involved. But Bob Nutting, will he spend the money? I'm not quite sure about that. And also, for the Diamondbacks, you do have someone like Pavin Smith, hits righties well, so maybe you could do a bit of a platoon there, bring in a bit of a cheaper right-handed bat, maybe someone like Connor Joe, and you got Mark Canha out there. Maybe you could get a reunion going with Paul Goldschmidt. But yeah, I like the idea of Christian Walker going back. It's just a matter of, will the Diamondbacks spend the money? They spent a lot of money last offseason. Will they do it again here with Christian Walker? For the Atlanta Braves, he has them getting Willy Adames. Now, I love the idea of Willy Adames for the Braves. I think he would be a great upgrade at shortstop. Orlando Arcia is good defensively, but the bat just hasn't really done anything for a while. I just don't know if Alex Anthopoulos is going to pony up the money. That's not usually his style. He doesn't like getting into the bidding wars in free agency. I think he either ends up with the Yankees. They need something at third base if they don't want to go with Oswaldo Cabrera or Oswald Peraza. I think the Red Sox would be a great fit. They need to make an upgrade defensively at third base. You could move Devers to DH. He gives them some versatility as well. Some insurance if Trevor Story ends up getting injured. The Phillies, if they end up moving Alec Boehm, he's been on the trade block. I could see Willy Adames being a nice upgrade. The Astros, if they don't get back Alex Bregman, I think would be a nice home. The Blue Jays, they could definitely use an upgrade. Also want to point out the contract. He has them getting 6 years, $150 million. That's $25 million per year. I'm going to be honest. I think he ends up getting more than that. He's averaged right around a 4 wins above replacement over the last few years. That's an average of $32 million per year in field value. He's in the middle of his prime. I'm going to say $170 to $190 million. Up next, he has the Orioles getting Sean Manaea. And I mean, sure, the Orioles could use some more pitching in the rotation, but I don't think Manaea is the guy. No disrespect. He's coming off a great bounce back season. 32 starts for the Mets this year. ERA at a 3.47, FIP at a 3.83, but he's more of a mid-rotation guy, in my opinion. I think the Orioles need to bring in a top-of-the-rotation guy. I think they should do what it takes to bring back Corbin Burns. They got a lot of payroll flexibility. You got new ownership. Do what it takes to bring back Burns to be the ace of your staff for years to come. Now, when it comes to the contract, he has 3 years, $68 million. I think he ends up getting a 4th year. He's a workhorse kind of a guy and coming off a good season overall. I think he will get that 4th year. Up next, he has the Red Sox signing Max Fried. I think Fried would be a great fit for the Red Sox. They need another guy at the top of the rotation to go alongside Tanner Houck. They could also use a lefty in the rotation. He has him getting 6 years, $174 million. That's $29 million per year. That feels a little high to me. I think he ends up getting somewhere in the $150 to $165 million range. I also wonder if he gets a 6th year. I could see a 5-year deal with an option because he had an arm injury back in 2023. I wonder if teams would be a little hesitant to give a 6-year deal. But because teams do need starting pitching, I could see a team out there caving for a 6th year. Now, like I said, for the Red Sox, they do need someone at the top of the rotation. But I also wonder if they end up going with Fried, if they somehow shock the world and sign Juan Soto. Alex Spear reported this, saying if the Red Sox signed the outfielder Juan Soto, it would increase the likelihood that they'd seek to add a top of the rotation starter via a trade. But he would be a great fit here. Up next, he has Carlos Estevez going to the Cubs. I like this idea. The Cubs only ranked 20th overall in Fangraph WAR with their relief pitching last year, and it doesn't look like they're going to be dabbling into big free agents this offseason, but I could definitely see them going after a veteran reliever like Carlos Estevez, who's been very solid over the last couple of years. As of right now, you got Porter Hodge in the closer role. Looks like he's going to be getting a chance for that next season, but in case anything happens there, they could have a good veteran guy like Estevez to step in. Up next, he has the Chicago White Sox getting Alex Verdugo. I don't see this happening. I can understand the idea because the White Sox are very bad and Alex Verdugo is coming off a terrible season, but I just don't see the fit with the White Sox. He's also having him getting a 2-year, $26 million deal. I don't see him getting that much money or that many years. I think he gets a 1-year cheap deal. He was only at a 0.6 F4 this year. That's worth right around $5 million. I could see him getting a 1-year deal in the $5 to $10 million range. And for the White Sox, he already got Andrew Benintendi out in left field. That's a bad contract as it is. I don't see Verdugo fitting in here. Up next, he has the Reds getting Jock Peterson. Now, I'm a little unsure about this one. Now, with Jock, he is coming off a good year, hits right-handed pitching very well, had a 151 WRC plus, 23 homers. I could see the Reds wanting to add a bat here, but for the DH spot, you currently have Christian Encarnacion Strand, who's coming off an injury-riddled year, so I'm not sure what you do with him. Could you move him in a trade, possibly? We'll just have to wait and see, but I think a couple of things need to happen for Jock to go to Cincinnati. Up next, he has the Guardians bringing back Shane Bieber. I could definitely see this happening. Shane Bieber missed all of this year after getting Tommy John surgery. He's been rehabbing with the Guardians for this past year, so I could see him just going back on a 1-year deal. 2-year, $36 million. I'm a little unsure about that. The Guardians, we all know they're a small market team. I could see a 1-year deal possibly with an option. We'll just have to wait and see what the terms would look like, but I could see Bieber going back to the Guardians. Up next, he has the Colorado Rockies getting Paul Goldschmidt. I can understand the idea here because they do have a lot of young players, but they do have some veterans as well. I could also understand that maybe going to Coors Field can help get some more pop out of him, but in the end, I just don't really see the fit. They already got Michael Toglia at first base. Chris Bryant's probably better off getting more DH time at this point with all the injuries he's been having. I just don't see a great fit here. I would love the Pittsburgh Pirates. I don't think he's going to be requiring a long-term deal. Would be pretty cheaper. I could see the Pirates maybe going after him. I could see the Astros doing something there. But Goldschmidt, I think he would also rather go to a more bona fide contender at this point in his career. Up next, he has the Detroit Tigers getting Walker Buehler. I actually like this idea a lot. Remember, they brought in Jack Flaherty this past season after a lot of injury-riddled seasons with the Cardinals, and they ended up getting his best season out of him since 2019. I could see a similar thing here with Walker Buehler, who's coming off a very down season, but remember, he was coming off of Tommy John, so there was a lot of rust there. I could see the Tigers bringing him in with all of the advancements they've made on the pitching side of things, and Tarek Skubal could use a good option behind him in the number 2 spot. I think Buehler would be a great fit here. Up next, he has the Astros bringing back Alex Bregman. It's hard to argue this one. The only reason I could see the Astros not wanting to do this is because they usually don't dabble with the big free agents. They have been spending a little bit more over the last couple of years, Josh Hader, Jose Abreu, but they would really have to dig deep into the wallets here to get a deal done with Alex Bregman. I could see him getting a 6 or 7 year deal, something in the $160 to $180 million range. But hey, they don't really have any other options at third base at this point unless they go after someone else on the free agent market. But with Bregman, I think his bat fits well at Minute Maid Park. The batted ball metrics were a bit down this past year, but they have the short porch and left, so I think his bat still plays there. Bregman, fan favorite. I could definitely see him sticking around. Up next, he has the Royals getting Clay Holmes. I like the idea of this too. I think Holmes would be a great addition for the Royals bullpen. Now, he did blow a lot of saves this year, but overall had good numbers. ERA at a 3.14, FIP at a 3.02, 9.7 strikeouts per 9. Did a great job of keeping the ball in the yard. He gets a lot of ground balls. The Royals have a good defense, so I think that would be a good fit. Now, it's going to be interesting to see whether or not he signs as a reliever or a starter. Joel Sherman of the New York Post did report recently that he's drawing interest as a starting pitcher. Well, hey, that could be a pretty good fit too. Remember, Seth Lugo, he converted into a starter. He went to Kansas City, and they got a great year out of him. One thing I think about, though, is are the Royals going to keep spending money, especially after bringing back Michael Wacha on a 3-year deal, along with the fact that I do think there's going to be some competition out there for Clay Holmes since he's been one of the better relievers in the game for the last couple of years. I could see the Red Sox maybe looking into this. Liam Hendricks hasn't pitched since 2023. They did bring in Aroldis Chapman, but I feel like you could use a bit more insurance at the back end of the bullpen. Maybe the Mets, right? The Mets got a lot of money to play with this offseason. You got the Blue Jays. Their bullpen was absolutely terrible this past year. The Rangers just lost a lot of arms to free agency, including Kirby Yates. So yeah, Clay Holmes, I definitely definitely think he's going to have a market. Up next, he has the LA Angels getting Kenley Jansen. Now, I can see the thinking behind this one. He was in LA for years with the Dodgers, still has a home out there, and the Angels could definitely use a guy like him. Posted an ERA at 3.29, FIP at a 3.00, 27 saves. The Angels bullpen absolutely stunk this past year, and hey, they are willing to spend some money this offseason. Just brought in Yusei Kikuchi, took on the contract of Jorge Soler, but in the end, I wonder if Kenley Jansen just wants to go to the Dodgers now. If they don't bring back Blake Treinen, I could see them looking towards Kenley, having a reunion there. I do think either way, he'll end up with one of the LA teams. Up next, he has the LA Dodgers bringing back Teoscar Hernandez. Now, coming into the offseason, I thought Teoscar would be a great fit for the Red Sox. They were rumored to be looking for a right-handed bat. He's always hit well at Fenway Park. He's talked about how much he likes hitting at Fenway Park, and they were in negotiations with him last offseason. But then all of a sudden, they're in the Juan Soto sweepstakes, which no one saw coming. And if you're going to ask me, yeah, I'd rather have Juan Soto instead of Teoscar Hernandez. But I think for the Dodgers, yeah, it makes a lot of sense for him to go back there. He took a one-year deal with them last year, a bet-on-himself deal after a couple of years of regression, and ended up having one of the best seasons of his career, a 134 WRC+, a slugging of 501, 33 homers, won the home run derby, helped them win a World Series. Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense for Teoscar to stay with the Dodgers. Up next, he has the Marlins getting left-handed reliever Caleb Ferguson, and sure, I don't see the Marlins really being big players this year in free agency. I see them looking at some trades, trying to sell off some more pieces with their fire sale. Caleb Ferguson, though, I will say, I wonder if he actually ends up having a bigger market. Had a good FIP this year of 3.74, a lot better compared to the ERA. So don't be surprised if Caleb Ferguson has a bit of a market this offseason. For the Milwaukee Brewers, he has them getting Tomoyuki Sagano. And sure, I like out-of-the-box ideas. Tomoyuki Sagano coming over from Japan, 35 years old, not a whole lot of velocity, throws a ton of different pitches, though, throws a ton of strikes, and I could see the Brewers maybe trying to tap into something there. You got Aaron Ashby projected for the 5th spot. I could see him being in the bullpen next year. Brandon Woodruff is coming back from shoulder surgery, so having a veteran guy like Sagano in a system like Milwaukee, why not? I think that could be fun. When it comes to the pitchers from Japan, though, more often than not, they tend to go to the West Coast. I could see the Padres getting in the mix for Sagano, especially since Joe Musgrove is going to be missing all of 2025. I know they would love to get Roki Sasaki, but if that doesn't work out, I could definitely see them turning to Sagano. The Giants have been connected with Corbin Burns lately, but there have been reports that they are looking to reduce payroll. Sagano will definitely be cheaper than Corbin Burns. I feel like he would be a pretty good fit here. For the Minnesota Twins, he has them signing Jerickson Profar. I just don't see this happening. The Twins are reportedly looking to cut payroll this offseason with all the TV revenue issues they've been having over the last couple of years. Christian Vasquez has been on the trade block. They're looking to get rid of his salary. And even Carlos Baerga, who has been a little hit or miss, but he has gotten some stuff right, has reported that they're looking to shop Carlos Correa. I don't know if that ends up happening, but I just don't see the Twins bringing in Profar. He is coming off a career year. He would definitely be a boost to the offense here, but the Twins, they already have a lot of outfielders already. I just don't see this happening. I could see the Padres looking to bring him back. I could see a fun fit of maybe the Rays looking to do something. The A's did just sign Luis Severino. If they're looking to keep spending some money, maybe Profar I think would be a good addition for the lineup, but I don't see Profar going to the Twins. Up next for the Yankees, he has them signing Jack Flaherty. I just don't see this happening, and I see this contract here, 3 years and $52 million. I think that's selling way short on Jack Flaherty. This past year, he posted a 3.2 F4. That's worth right around $25 million. Projections for next year show right around a 2.5 F4, which is going to be worth around $20 million. I could see him getting something in the $22 to $24 million range. I do know injuries are a bit of a concern there, but I could see him getting a 4-year deal, maybe with some options tied into that. But I don't see the Yankees going after him. They were looking to trade for him at the deadline, but there were some back issues that popped up that they were a little weary of, and they ended up backing out of the deal. So I don't see them bringing in Flaherty, especially after that. For the New York Mets, he has them landing the big fish in Juan Soto at 15 years and $622 million. Now for the contract, I do think it's going to be higher than this. I think Scott Boras is going to be looking for the record AAV. I see that contract getting closer to $700 million. Now for the fit with Juan Soto and the Mets, it's hard to argue it. Steve Cohen's got money for days. He's going to look to do what he can to land Juan Soto in Queens. They have a need in the lineup alongside Francisco Lindor. They could use another guy in the outfield. I think it makes a lot of sense for him to land with the Mets, but I won't count out the Yankees. You know Hal Steinbrenner. He's going to look to do the buzzer beater call, try to make one last phone call, try to get him back with the Yankees, and that would be a great pairing for years to come with him and Judge in the lineup. But they have a lot of needs throughout the lineup and the rest of the team as well, so I wonder how far they're willing to go there. And for the Red Sox, I think it makes makes a lot of sense for him to go there organizationally. They're very healthy right now. They got a very good-looking farm system, a lot of good prospects, multiple top 100 prospects, multiple top 10 prospects. They got a lot of young talent at the major league level. You got someone like Rafael Devers locked up for years to come. He's in the prime of his career. The only question is, will John Henry put down enough money to convince him to stay away from the Yankees or the Mets? We'll just have to wait and see. But Juan Soto would not be surprised at all if he landed with the Mets. Howdy, everyone. Real quick, just want to shout out today's sponsor, and that's Odds Jam. Now, when it comes to predictions, you know me. I'm not right very often, but if I had something like Odds Jam, I would be doing a lot better. Look at these results. People are making free money betting on sports, making thousands every month. The secret? They're using Odds Jam. Odds Jam isn't just another betting app. It's turning the entire system in your favor. Here's how. Odds Jam uses a strategy called arbitrage, finding odds differences across sports books. You bet both sides, and no matter the outcome, you will profit. Here's an example. If you put $500 on Boise State to win on FanDuel and $335 on their opponent, San Francisco, on DraftKings, you're guaranteed to make $50, win or lose. It's that simple. With the Odds Jam mobile app, you'll get real-time alerts on these opportunities every day. People are making thousands monthly. And to get you started, use the code HYDE for 35% off and a 7-day free trial. I guarantee you will profit during the trial, and if you don't, cancel with one click, no questions asked. Don't leave money on the table. Go to oddsjam.com, use the code HYDE, and start making money the smart way. For the Philadelphia Phillies, he has them signing Tanner Scott at 4 years and $60 million. I do think he's going to get a contract right around that. I think people might be underestimating how much he's going to get in a deal. Tanner Scott's one of the best relievers in baseball for a couple of years now. This guy is absolutely disgusting. A lot of swing and miss stuff, a good amount of strikeouts, good velocity. I like Tanner Scott a lot. But with the Phillies, I wonder if they go after him. They already got a couple of shutdown lefties at the back end of the bullpen in Matt Strahm and Jose Alvarado. Now, it wouldn't hurt at all for them to go after Tanner Scott, but I wonder if they would be more inclined to try and keep Jeff Hoffman around. And Tanner Scott, he's going to have a massive market. A lot of teams are going to be looking to bring him in. I just wonder if the Phillies, with the two lefties they already have, I wonder if they dabble with Tanner Scott. For the Pittsburgh Pirates, he has them getting Tyler O'Neill. I need this. Bob Nutting, if you're listening to this, please spend some freaking money, for crying out loud. Now, as for the contract, 2 years, $38 million, I do think he gets at least a 3-year deal. He's coming off a very good bounce-back season. Now, he did miss some time, 113 games overall, but posted a .511 slugging, 31 homers. Tyler O'Neill is definitely a guy that could be great for Pittsburgh. You can put him out in left field. Brian Reynolds could move over to first. He's been getting some reps at first base for a little bit now. You got the DH spot, of course. I think Tyler O'Neill would be a great fit with the Pirates, but will they spend the money? For the San Diego Padres, he has them signing Roki Sasaki. Now, first off, I don't think Sasaki is going to be signing at the winter meetings because most likely teams are going to be waiting for the international bonus pool money to be reset for 2025 on December 15th. And by that time, the winter meetings are going to be over. But I definitely see the argument for the Padres. Obviously, Roki Sasaki, if you haven't heard about him, my goodness, this guy is going to be absolutely tremendous. Tons of velocity, great stuff. One of the best pitchers in the world at only 23 years old. Now, the odds-on favorite are the Dodgers for many reasons. Just won a World Series, organizationally, very good at the major league level and in the minor leagues. And obviously, you got Ohtani, Yamamoto there. There's a lot of reasons for the Dodgers to be able to land him, but I would not count out the San Diego Padres. AJ Preller has been hot on Sasaki for a while now. They got Yu Darvish there. They have done a great job when it comes to the pitching development. And I think especially with Darvish there, who has been a mentor to Roki Sasaki, they are very close. I could see the Padres landing him in the end. For the San Francisco Giants, he has them signing Corbin Burns to a 7-year, $247 million contract. Now, I do think this contract is going to be a little less. I see something in the $200 to $220 million range, but any team that adds Corbin Burns, obviously, you're going to be getting an ace-like guy. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball for a while now. Very steady, putting up solid numbers each and every year. A workhorse guy, 194 and a third innings pitched this year, over 32 starts. He ranks in the top 3 when it comes to innings pitched over the last few years. And if you were to put him alongside Logan Webb, that would be a very durable 1-2 punch. Those two guys are in the top 3 when it comes to innings pitched over the last 3 years. I just wonder, are the Giants going to pony up the money? There have been been reports about them this offseason looking to cut some payroll. The Orioles should do what it takes to bring him back. I don't think there's any excuse for them not to bring him back. The Red Sox have popped up as a possible landing spot. They're looking to upgrade the top of the rotation. But with John Henry, historically, he doesn't usually like to sign off on those long-term deals for the pitchers. The Yankees have made some contact. If they don't bring back Soto, they will have some money to play with. That would be a great 1-2 punch of Burns and Garrett Cole. The Blue Jays have been involved. Will he want to go there? But Corbin Burns, I do see the fit with the Giants. It's just a matter of will they want to spend the money. For the Seattle Mariners, he has them signing Pete Alonso to a 7-year, $189 million contract. Now, two things. I don't think he's going to be getting a contract that high. He's averaged right around 3 wins above replacement over the last few years. That's an average of $24 million per year. I don't think he's going to be getting $27 million per year. I could see something in the $23 to $25 million range. Now, with Pete Alonso and the Mariners, yeah, I could definitely see the fit there. They could use an upgrade at first base, but the richest contract they've ever given out was to Robbie Ray for 5 years at 105. I just don't see them giving this big of a contract to Pete Alonso. I just can't see it happening. Now, Pete Alonso, I do think he will have a bit of a market. If the Mets don't bring in Juan Soto, I definitely think they'll turn their attention to bring back a fan favorite in Pete Alonso. I could see the Yankees maybe taking a look. You got DJ LeMahieu and Ben Rice at first base right now. Maybe they feel like they want someone a bit more steady there. I would love for the Nationals to get involved. I feel like they could use a power guy in the middle of that lineup as they go into a competitive window. But for the Mariners, yeah, I see the fit. I just don't see them spending the money. For the St. Louis Cardinals, he has them signing Blake Treinen to a 2-year, $18 million deal. Now, for the Cardinals this offseason, it's been reported that they're looking to cut some payroll, so I don't see them going crazy in free agency. I don't see them signing Blake Treinen to a 2-year, $18 million deal. Maybe a 1-year deal. That way, at the deadline, if he's pitching well, they can trade him and get some prospects back. But I don't see a 2-year, $18 million deal, and I think they'll probably look elsewhere for some cheaper options. For the Rays, he has them signing Danny Jansen, and that actually just happened. Jim Bowden, good for you. You got one right. And it makes sense because they did need some catching. They were pretty thin there. I think Danny Jansen makes a lot of sense here. For the Texas Rangers, he has them signing Jeff Hoffman to a 3-year, $27 million contract. Now, for the contract, I do think he's going to get more than this. This past year, he posted a 2.0 F-WAR. That's worth right around $16 million. So I think he's going to get a higher AAV than this. And there's also been reports that teams could be looking at him as a starter because he has a 4-pitch mix. So he could make the leap back to the rotation. But either way, I think Jeff Hoffman's going to be a great pickup wherever he lands, whether that's the rotation or the bullpen. And I definitely see a fit here with the Rangers. I think you can make the argument they could use a bit more depth in the rotation, or they could use someone in the bullpen. They just lost a lot of bullpen guys. So yeah, I see the fit here. Now, when it comes to the money, will the Rangers want to spend the money? There have also been some issues with the TV revenue over the last couple of years, but Hoffman, I do see the fit here. For the Blue Jays, he has them signing Nathan Eovaldi, and I don't see this one being likely. The Blue Jays are coming off a tough year. Their outlook is looking a little murky, and I think a proven postseason performer like Nathan Eovaldi, who has pitched well over the last couple of years, would want to go to a team that has a bit of a better outlook. I could see him staying with the Rangers. He's pitched well there over the last couple of years. They just had a World Series hangover, but I see them with the talent they have getting back on track in 2025. The Braves, you know they're going to be in contention. I think you'd be a great fit behind Chris Sale, former teammate, Reynaldo Lopez in there. That could be a very good 1-2-3 punch. The Astros are still in a competitive window. Who knows if Justin Verlander comes back? You are getting Luis Garcia back from injury. Lance McCullers Jr., he's always a question mark with the health. So maybe Nathan Eovaldi can stay in Texas, and that would be some good insurance there. Framber Valdez, Nathan Eovaldi, Hunter Brown, that would be a very good 1-2-3. And the Orioles, I do think they need to bring back Corbin Burns to be the ace of the staff. But if they don't bring him back, then I could see Nathan Eovaldi being an option. I don't think he's the ace of the staff by any means, but this is a team where they got a ton of talent here, and a proven postseason guy like Eovaldi, I think would be a good fit for the Orioles. Last but not least, he has the Nationals signing Anthony Santander to a 7-year, $150.5 million contract. Now, first off, I don't see him getting 7 years. He's already 30 years old, and he has issues with the plate discipline. However, he can provide some great power for any lineup out there. 44 home runs, a .506 slugging, a 129 WRC plus. But again, I don't see him getting 7 years. I could see something maybe 4-5 years. Either way, I think the Nationals would be a great fit. I mentioned earlier they do need some power in this lineup as they're going into a competitive window. I think it would be a great bat to add into this lineup here. The Blue Jays, I think, would also be a good fit. I just mentioned, maybe they could entice someone like Nathan Eovaldi if they could bring in a couple of pieces. I think Vlad Jr. could use another bat alongside alongside him in this lineup. That would be a pretty good 1-2 combo. Vlad Jr. and Santander in the middle of the order. I think the Reds could be pretty interesting if they maybe move some of these guys via a trade. I think the Reds could use another bopper in this lineup here. Now, the Yankees, if they don't bring back Juan Soto, maybe they could turn to Santander, a good lefty bat for the lineup. We'll see. But either way, Santander is definitely going to help a lineup out there. But everyone, let me know what you think of Jim Bowden's winter meetings predictions. What do you think of all the different landing spots he has for these guys? Do you think any of them are going to be right? Let me know down below. But everyone, that's all I got for this video. If you can on the way out, hit that like button for me, subscribe if you're new, and I'll talk to you next time.